Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Reigning champion Marc Márquez admitted he's hurt watching teammate Pecco Bagnaia's rollercoaster 2025 season. Speaking at an Estrella Galicia press conference, Márquez urged patience, calling winter a chance for Bagnaia to reset, while confirming his own rehab is progressing after the Mandalika shoulder injury. Ducati general manager Gigi Dall'Igna took stock of a turbulent but trophy-laden 2025, praising the factory's extraordinary statistics while offering a frank diagnosis of Pecco Bagnaia's struggles. Speaking around EICMA, Dall'Igna stressed that Ducati remains at the top, but admitted Bagnaia's loss of confidence and Marquez's enforced absence for Valencia complicate both short-term fixes and next year's development work. Fabio Quartararo took stock of a complicated 2025 and explained why he stayed with Yamaha as the factory pushes its V4 project toward 2026. The Frenchman says the hunger to win is still there, but realism has crept in. A top result now demands the right bike. He praises Yamaha's plan and the team people who gave him confidence, and points to Marc Márquez's bold move as a model when thinking about his own future. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. What was expected to be a titanic duel between Marquez and Bagnaia instead turned into a year of wild swings for the Italian. From double no scores at Misano to a dominant Motegi, then bleak weekends in Indonesia and Australia, Bagnaia's form has been painfully inconsistent. Even a brilliant Q1 pole sprint win at Sepang was followed by bad luck in the Grand Prix, a puncture, and recent Portimao results have been disappointing. Pecco has experienced a total roller coaster ride this year, which I don't think even he can explain. The narrative isn't one of lost talent, but of an unexplained fluctuation, and that uncertainty is as troubling as poor results. Marquez insisted Bagnaia's speed and skill remain intact. Motegi provided proof, and suggested the best remedy could be a clear winter break and focused reset. The message was as much emotional support as tactical. Confidence can be rebuilt away from the week-to-week pressure of the championship. He hasn't forgotten how to ride a bike. We saw that in Motegi. The best thing that could happen to him is for winter to arrive, and for him to reset. Coming from a teammate who knows the highs and lows of injury and form, that endorsement serves both as comfort and a gentle call to patience. Ducati's engineers have repeatedly altered the GP25 to find front confidence and traction for Bagnaia. Team management acknowledges they've tried multiple solutions without a definitive cure. The risk is reputational and sporting if the double world champion can't refine consistent pace. Marquez framed the issue as a project problem, not a personal failing. For Ducati, the winter program and the Valencia test window are now mission critical. Translate adjustments into stable, track-by-track performance. Marquez also updated his recovery timeline. Absent since the Mandalika incident, he confirmed rehabilitation is underway and that he has already removed the sling, moving into daily arm exercises as part of his program. While he'll miss Valencia, he struck an optimistic tone about the rehab process. "I haven't been bored. We're doing the typical, everyday arm movements. It's going well." The champion's focus is simple and pragmatic: follow the medical schedule, rebuild strength, and let fitness dictate competitiveness for 2026. Bagnaia's turbulence matters beyond individual results. A fully firing Bagnaia strengthens Ducati's project. An unresolved dip hands momentum to rivals. Marquez stressed that rediscovering Bagnaia's form would be the best thing for the Ducati project, underlining the wider stakes. Marc Márquez, paraphrase: a recovered Bagnaia is not only good for him, it's vital for Ducati's collective ambitions. The coming winter will be as much a psychological rebuild as a technical one. Marc Márquez's sympathy for Pecco Bagnaia reads like a team captain's plea: don't panic, reset, rebuild. Bagnaia's season has been an unpredictable mix of brilliance and struggle. Marquez believes the talent remains and that a measured winter, plus clear diagnostics from Ducati, can restore the balance. Meanwhile, Marquez's own rehab continues, a reminder that the championship's next chapter will be written by bodies that are healed as much as bikes that are improved. Dall'Igna opened by reminding listeners that Ducati's 2025 numbers are staggering: constructors' titles, long podium runs, sprint streaks, and a new rider's crown with Marc Márquez. Still, those headlines sit alongside the noise about Bagnaia's inconsistent form, a topic Dall'Igna says Ducati perhaps undercommunicated. Ducati has extraordinary statistics, but people talked more about Bagnaia's difficulties than our successes, partly because we didn't explain the situation well enough. Big numbers don't erase a sensitive problem. Dall'Igna recognizes perception and reality need both technical and communicative remedies. On Bagnaia, Dall'Igna's message is candid: the Desmosedici hasn't changed radically, but the rider's feelings have, and feelings are harder to fix than a mechanical fault. Ducati has tried many solutions and will keep working, but when the issue is confidence, the path to recovery is more nuanced. The bike has always been the same, the rider's feelings have changed. When you're dealing with confidence, everything is much more complicated. Technicians can chase data. Restoring a rider's trust in the package often demands patience, iterative testing, and clear communication. Dall'Igna emphasized Ducati's collaborative approach. They've altered systems, tested ideas, and stuck with Bagnaia, but a definitive fix hasn't emerged yet. He noted improvements spotted in Malaysia and reiterated the team's commitment to remaining consistent and supportive. We've tried to help and work with him. If we truly understood everything, we'd have solved it by now, but we haven't given up. The admission is important. It frames Bagnaia's problem as a project challenge, not a failure of intent. Perhaps the most concrete revelation: Marquez missing Valencia and the subsequent test is an engineering setback. Ducati had planned development runs across the final rounds to try changes that weren't safe to introduce mid-season. Losing Marquez means losing a critical test rider and data source for GP26 work. Marquez's absence in Valencia is definitely a problem for the bike's development. Missing a lead rider at the end of the season isn't just emotional, it's a measurable loss of development bandwidth and a timing problem for next year's program. Looking to 2026, Dall'Igna downplayed big aerodynamic revolutions or wholesale chassis redesigns. Expect targeted changes and refinements, a pragmatic path, since the GP25/GP24 engines remain the same and aerodynamic work done now will likely be short-lived because of rule changes planned for 2027. I don't see major revolutions, we'll refine elements, but big aero changes may be abandoned due to the 2027 rules shift. Ducati's approach is conservative by necessity. Maximize gains that matter now while preparing for regulatory shifts ahead. Dall'Igna also admitted Ducati could have handled public messaging better around Bagnaia's form. The takeaway: technical fixes must be matched by better explanations to fans and stakeholders so exceptional team performance and isolated rider struggles aren't misread as systemic failure. We should have communicated more clearly about Bagnaia's situation. Transparency helps reduce speculation and builds trust. For a factory at the sporting apex, perception management is now part of the engineering playbook. Gigi Dall'Igna's interview was a mix of celebration and realism. Ducati's 2025 ledger is extraordinary, yet Bagnaia's loss of confidence and Marquez's absence for Valencia create real headaches for short-term fixes and next season's development. Ducati will keep working, technically and communicatively, but the final weeks of 2025 and the winter test program are now mission-critical if the factory wants to turn this mixed chapter into a clean reset for 2026. Quartararo admits he still wants to fight for wins, but he's learned to value strong top 5 finishes in a tougher, more competitive grid. Where 2021 felt easy, now every weekend demands management and energy. The Fabio still has the desire to win. Finishing 4th or 5th is fantastic now. I've learned to manage the situation. Rare is the champion who admits the hard truth plainly. Confidence and context shape how success is measured. Several factors convinced Fabio to re-sign: the satellite team plan, an engineer who boosted his confidence, Yamaha's V4 project, and yes, the financial package. He stresses money wasn't the only reason, but it was a practical contributor to his decision. Yamaha was going to have a satellite team. An engineer arrived who gave me a lot of confidence. The financial aspect was there, but it wasn't the only reason. Yamaha offered a mix of technical promise and personal reassurance, often the crucial combination for a rider weighing loyalty versus opportunity. Quartararo made clear the coming 2026 prototype will be pivotal to his long-term choice. He wants a winning bike. His commitment will depend on how the new machine performs. There's no set deadline. His decision will follow the feeling he gets from the bike. We'll make a decision based on how the 2026 prototype performs. I want a winning bike. That's all I want right now. For Quartararo, the engineering calendar determines career moves, not press-driven timelines. Despite concessions, Yamaha hasn't made the same leap as rivals. Quartararo prefers to leave technical analysis to engineers but recognizes improvements under people like Bartolini. The message is pragmatic, the work is ongoing, results are partial, and the V4 is central to the next step. A rider's focus on performance feedback, while trusting engineers to translate it into parts, is the professional division of labor. Quartararo reflected on a difficult 2023 and how it changed him. He now values the process over pure finishing positions and keeps a tight inner circle, citing Tony Arbolino as a close friend. The mental work is ongoing: produce maximum on track and avoid overvaluing the grid slot. I'm with my people. I do my own thing. Tony Arbolino is a very good friend. Mental stability and trusted relationships have become as vital as raw laps in Fabio's game plan. When asked whether he might change teams as Marquez did, Quartararo said Marc's choice, sacrificing money to secure a competitive package, is a clear example for him. That willingness to bet on performance, not pay, factors into how Fabio contemplates his future. What Marc risked, what he has achieved, that's what I keep in mind. A high-profile gamble by a rival serves as a roadmap. Sometimes short-term financial loss buys long-term sporting gain. Quartararo's message is candid and pragmatic. The desire to win is unchanged, but the route matters. Yamaha's V4 and the personnel changes around him have bought time and confidence, yet the 2026 prototype will likely decide whether he stays, moves, or reshapes his priorities. Until then, Fabio will keep grinding, tighter focus, measured expectations, and a clear eye on the bike that can put him back at the front. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!